at a 1-1. So there still is not a definite first or second place person quite yet. A lot at stake then. Delicious steak.
No, really good chance of getting another tiebreaker out of this group. Pikapals wins, that's probably going to secure him a spot moving on. Zarby happens to win this, then we may have ourselves another tie.
I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see how this tiebreaker tonight is going to go, and I'm excited to see afterwards how other tiebreakers are going to go. But off to the races, we have 2 bottles. They were not fairy bottles, so whoever clicked that is wrong. They were definitely Bs, but we don't have a B option. But I don't want to confuse people, so we'll just empty that bottle right there, right quick.
Fantastic as always, you know. We'll find in the fighter sword from Uncle is
honestly,
sure
it's always a good plan to aim for that first, because going throughout the rest of the dungeon without a sword is.
I don't know. It's straight away too. So every runner makes the same initial moves, and it's a good play by everybody.
It's nice to see some consistency from both the runners right off the bat.
You know, in the world of randomness, that little bit of consistency is quite the nice breathing room. Pikapal's picking up a nice bomb drop straight away here. We're gonna find hopefully a few more. Kakariko area early on requires several. This will at least, pending an unfortunate Y button press later on, this will allow him to check the final room with 3 chests.
Now, what I want to see from both these players is some B strats going up against the ball and chain guard. Do you think they'll do it?
You know?
I can't tell. Is that a good B or a bad B?
I don't know myself. I don't think I've ever seen a B attack the ball and chain guard. We know it can damage certain bosses.
Mm-hmm.
What can it do against the ball and chain guard?
I'm sure it could take it down.
Maybe
I've just never seen that strat before. But
I would tend to think that a ball and chain is going to wreck a B typically.
Well, they're so small and hard to hit.
Oh, that's true too. The tiny hitbox makes them easy to avoid things.
Precisely. Yeah, let's see what we got in these first few chests. Looks like we got a slight difference in taking care of that room. One tapping on the door to alert the guard and getting the double hit up against the wall, and the other one using a poke and spin attack. Both seem to be working just quite as well.
Yeah, quite efficient, pretty quick each.
Yeah.
No complaints there.
Not a one. Oh, green guard being alerted. Probably for both. Oh, no. Oh, Pikapal's going to go ahead and take him out anyway. All right, we're seeing pot strats from both players, and the release of
it is a cool
B.
There you go. That was about the quickest ball and chain victory I think I've seen.
Yo, he saved some time with that B use right there.
Sad thing is, they're going to have to part ways. That B's going to live in Zelda's prison cell for the rest of its life.
Goodbye, B.
Thanks, you. Your time was well served. Oh.
I'm just happy that I got to see that. My day has already been made.
No, that B made the ultimate sacrifice, though. Chat, I think we need a name for the honorable B.
You like jazz? That's all I got. It's not a name, but it is. Anyway.
Well, we know it wasn't a Zarby. He still has his.
No, it's too early. I'm not.
We hit the 3-minute mark. I think it's pretty good.
I'm not ready, please. These puns. At least wait till we get to blind, where I'm forced to
we can do that. Blind could come anywhere early or late, so who knows? That's fine.
Okay. Zarby's still looking for that one bomb drop. We already know that the green guards do drop the bombs. So if he doesn't find one sooner, we don't know if snakes or rats are going to drop them, so we'll find out. These players are neck and neck. We have no idea who's going to win. Sorry, I got a little excited. I'm gonna drink my coffee.
If you take a look at the way that Zarby's utilizing that staircase, he is top-notch. Really utilizing that left foot and the right foot pattern. He's getting up there just fine.
Truly the most efficient way of going upstairs.
I prefer a crab walk myself.
I mean, with the sword, you can kind of pull that off. You just slash to the right and you walk up it sideways. Does that count as a crab walk? I think so.
We can say it counts as a crab walk. That's fine with me.
We'll give you some credit. All right, clearing some... Oh, and there's that bomb drop. We got that from the snakes. Good stuff. I'm going to click that button.
Nice, an 8th bomb drop for Pikapals.
Ooh, now that is definitely a big play.
Definitely?
Gonna have to... Well, I mean, we'll see. It depends on if both players are going to check, like, tree tugs? No, tree pulls. Never say that again. Later on. And also, the players are very similar in rupee counts as well, probably from the red rupees that they got from the chests.
Yeah, nice to see about 80 toward the end of Escape, though. Needing 100 for the bottle vendor. Really, really comfortable number.
Mm-hmm.
Easily able to pick up the rest of them just from Blind's house alone, should they not find anything else.
With the bottle being the first item right off the gate, players can already go ahead and check Sick Kid and get that knocked out.
Yeah, Kakariko's going to be a ghost town. Metaphorically and literally, I suppose, once we visit it in the Dark World.
Both players going to be picking up the Ether Medallion. We don't know if it's valuable or not, but it's still nice to have. It's one less thing you have to worry about. Now, of course, both players probably would have rather preferred, I don't know, Master Sword, the boot, or maybe the flute. Flute would be nice on the way to Kakariko so you can get that activated.
I think flute would be fantastic at any point, but the earlier the better.
Yeah.
We can get that over with.
That'd be preferred. Alright, and Zarby first out of the escape with a sub-6 time as well.
And, you know, there's no better reward for completing Escape with a sub-6 than picking up a fighter shield. Of course, it's a sub-610 and picking up the same fighter shield as a reward is fantastic.
As far as I can tell, it looks like both players are going to be taking the usual scenic route up to Lumberjack Cave, see what's up there, see if Aga Tower is potentially required, and then making a trip through Lost Woods into Kakariko from the north. Ooh, and a very fortunate bomb pull from the tree. It's going to get Zarby plenty of bombs that he's going to need to check the rest of the routing options.
You know, minor as it might be, one thing I've noticed through the tournament is every racer has a little bit of a different strategy for getting up through these bushes, up around the tree, just to check what's inside of it.
You know,
some people go left, right, up the middle.
I've also heard for clearing bushes, the fastest strat is to slash, poke, poke. Slash, poke, poke.
Interesting.
I don't know if the person that told me that was trolling, but I've been using it, and I don't know. It looks cool, I guess.
In that same pattern, too? The slash, poke, poke, repeat?
Slash, poke, poke.
Now, why not just continue the slashes? Or the pokes, I'm sorry.
Well, because then you charge your sword for a spin attack.
Right.
But only 2 pokes, then you can get that next slash in, but...
Good note. We had an arrow capacity upgrade in the mushroom spot, heart piece in its vanilla spot, although we don't know which heart piece it is. It's always a mystery.
Mm-hmm. There are, I believe, how many? 24 heart pieces?
24 at my count.
I'm getting hearts from the tree pole, and Pikapals pulling ahead by skipping that tree pole, saying, hey, I've got enough stuff, I don't need anything else. So yeah, once again, players still neck and neck. Let's see what Kakariko Village has in store for these players. Plenty of chests, plenty of opportunities, plenty of options. What are you hoping to find?
Early on, there's just too many things that could be beneficial to open up a path that I can't narrow it down to 1 or 2 things. Ideally, I like to find some sort of a strength upgrade and the hookshot, if not the flute, in place of a strength upgrade. Nailing a lot of the Death Mountain areas that way fairly early.
And picking up the hookshot.
Well, there's the hookshot as and the Titan Pull. Man, it's as if I wrote this seed myself.
And another heart container, which is nice. Having at least 4 hearts is definitely better than having only 3. As you all know, 4 is more than 3.
33% more by my math, but we aren't doing math today.
They did the math.
I guess I did.
Titan Mitts opens up a lot of options, but not quite yet. We still need stuff like the Moon Pearl or even the Hammer, but knowing you don't have to go out and find that other glove, if you were to pick up the Power Glove instead of the Titan Mitts, is also a nice little thing to have. And some more love in this cave. Best place to find it, in a well at the bottom of the well. That's where I go for all my love. And a blue boomerang!
Yeah, but we typically throw blue boomerangs along with love down the wells where I come from. So you clear out Kakariko, you get the bottle vendor, you get the sick kid, you check the tavern. If you wind up saving and quitting after the sign maze area, at this point, would you head straight up to the mountain? Or would you go with the normal dam and mini Moldorp cave?
Normally, with just the mitts, I would probably go down the south route, down to Dam and Mini Moldorn. But with the hookshot in hand, that opens up all of the east side of Death Mountain. And with the mitts, it also opens up the Super Bunny Cave. So I would definitely go to Death Mountain first.
It's not normally open and that readily available this early on.
Oh, baby, the Temper Sword. Well, that alone tells me that Agate Tower is definitely in my future. Unless I find Moon Pearl or stuff. You know, if I'm going to do Agate Tower, I'd love to have at least the Tempered Sword or the Fire Rod. Something that gives me a little bit more strength than just the Fighter Sword or even the Master Sword. We still don't know if it's required, so I'm going to hold my breath until then. See what we got.
It's the 20 rupee in the library. Late fee for someone's book. Lost book. Must not be there. On the note of Agate Tower quickly, though, having Tempered, as you mentioned, I find it useful specifically in one room, with the second room even, with the 2 gold ball and chain guards.
Yeah, because I believe it's...
That room goes from about 20 seconds with Tempered or even the Master Sword. I don't know, that can easily take more than a minute for some people if all that they have is the Fighter Sword.
Yeah. But yeah, there's plenty of options, routing options, depending on what you get early. If you want to play on Agate Tower, like Silver Arrows obviously make a big difference. Fire Rod, Temper Sword.
Of course.
At this point in time, of course, there's still way too many places to check first before anyone wants to go in there.
Not something I would consider this early. Just something to keep in the back of your mind, knowing that it's available.
And maybe
going past the dam area at first. Let's see what Zarby. Nice hookshot strategy to go through that block and open up the chest.
Yeah, it saves him one extra trip of having to go back inside there. I would definitely... It's one of those, like, the biggest thing that you want to find before going into Agate Tower, or having to do Agate Tower to find it, would be the Moon Pearl. Oh, and Zarby saying no to the Mirror Shield?
If it was right there, I think most people would have grabbed it. Zarby feeling confident enough, gonna just stroll right on by it.
I mean, even, like, the Fighter Shield is nice, but even if it had been, like, the Fire Shield, it still helps against, like, Blind. Or, you know, any of the, or, like, the Medusa heads that shoot the little fireballs and stuff like that. You don't know what kind of seed you're gonna get. You might be doing Dark Rooms. Well, we'll see if it comes back to bite him. Oh, and Mini Moldern Cave not shaping up at all, so... so far, it looked like a trip up to Death Mountain might have been the smarter, wiser choice, but fortunately both players made the same choice, so... Now here is going to be a little bit different routing. Looks like Zarby's going to probably fake Flipper, if not check Ice Rod Cave. Let's see which pays off.
Starting with the fake Flipper. Let's see if he swings to the west of the lake, I'm sorry. Sees what's on the island, perhaps?
Scouting out the area, grabbing some items. Some item knowledge.
Just a piece of heart on top of that island.
Alright, what's old man got? What do you got for me? A red rupee.
Another 20 rupees. Thanks for bringing me home. It's a really great time getting to know you, but here's 20 rupees.
No problem, old man. Hey, every rupee counts at this point until the players hit up Zora. As well as, like, you know, digging game, chess game, all that fun stuff. Alright. Is Zarby gonna break the game? He is!
Possibly. I'd say there's a good chance of that.
Well, picking up the book. The book, Titan Mitts. Still no boot or fire source. Boots on Spectacle.
Boots on top of Spectacle.
Is Mir gonna be in here?
That would have been interesting, but we have the flippers instead.
Okay, so that wasn't too much of a logic break by Zarby, because now he's probably going to go up to Death Mountain and get the flippers anyway. So yeah, we knew, with Hobo having the book, we knew that the flippers had to be somewhere close. Or at least have an idea of where it was going to be. That was going to be not too deep inside, like, the Dark World or anything like that.
Right.
Because book is one of those, like, kind of one of those gatekeeping items, especially if Desert Palace is required, but we've seen a lot in this version how valuable Desert Palace has been, despite whether it's crystal or pendant. So
the thing on my mind is, at what point would Pikapals remember to head back and check that one-off spot?
That is a good point. I mean, why would you ever go down there other than... He might wait. I could easily see him waiting until he has enough money for Zora.
Yeah. Yeah, you go down there, you hit the void, do it all at once. That's a good play. There's nothing wrong with that. The other wrench that could be thrown into the gearing here is that if he finds something else that could open up another path on this Death Mountain trek, it may put off that trip to the hobo just a bit longer.
Such as the hammer?
Such
or
as
a
the
fire source?
Moon Pearl?
Something that might send him up to Hera. Now, I don't think either player has taken a look at the map yet, so we don't know which dungeons
I
are
haven't seen it myself.
Yeah, so we'll be waiting for that real soon. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, there it is. We got...
I didn't even notice it.
Eastern was a pendant and the green pendant. And I believe Desert was also a crystal. Wow, vanilla pendant? Boring. There's the mirror.
And the lantern.
And the lantern. Jinx. Mushroom and fire shield. So it looks like Zarby's gonna get his shield regardless. So yeah, Zarby picking up the flippers. Oh, you already got Pikapals. Okay, cool.
Save and quit by Pikapals. It seems we're not going to check the Spiral Cave yet, or Super Bunny.
He's probably going to go back to Death Mountain, get those boots, and then make his way up to Hera, and then he'll probably make a quick trip over to Spiral Cave afterwards. Which is not a bad plan, in my opinion. The sooner you get those boots, the sooner you can go fast.
That's true. That's a minor point of the routing that I actually hadn't considered for the moment.
Now, at that point, it might have actually been better just to do a... Oh, well, he doesn't have hammer, so yeah. No, that was the best play. Or was it? What if Spiral Cave had the hammer?
The world may never know. No, we'll find out at some point, I'm sure. At some point, it'll be checked.
Hammer not required? Kappa?
That would be the seed, wouldn't it?
That would be...
Sure throw me for a loop.
It's impossible.
Exactly.
Might have to have a word with Vitor. But here's the thing, Zarby's going to be making his way up to Death Mountain, well, the Hera location, whilst having the book in his hands, which means he'll be able to check Ether Tablet. So if that ends up being something big, then that trip to Hobo early is definitely a good play.
Another good thought.
Zarby with the choice bomb jump, probably going to go check Spiral Cave, and we'll figure that out once and for all. Alright, first item in Hera is a bomb upgrade. We only have one more. I wonder what it could be.
Only 50 rupees on top of the mountain island. Not something that'll need to come back for. Way out of the way.
The long walk of the Spiral Cave without boots.
It's a nice leisurely stroll. Say hi to a couple of mini. Hopefully they're friendly.
Every time I go through those blue guys always be shocking me. Always got to switch over to the hook shot just to make sure that they don't. And the other item is an arrow upgrade. Lots of upgrades up in here. I missed what was in Spiral. Did you catch it?
Spiral was the red boomerang.
Ah, okay. So, nothing of value was gained. Ooh, and Pikapals... It looked like he was trying to do the little clip where you can kind of squeeze yourself right between the pit and the bumper. You can go through there without touching either of those, but it looked like he was too far up, and he fell into the... Ah, and he did it again. At that point,
it's a little bit of an optical deception. You want to be... I don't know, where that circle is on the floor, you kind of want to be a little bit halfway, right around the halfway point, maybe a little bit lower.
There you go. Third time's a charm.
Because it doesn't look like it should be possible.
Yeah. Zarby picking up his boots. Will he make it over to Ether Tablet first? Looks like it. All right. Let's see if this big trip to Hobo paid off. And a red potion.
Good to have.
Very good to have. Alright, and Pikapal's picking up his first crystal and taking out Moldorm.
That's a sub-20 first crystal. Nicely done.
That's PB material right there. That is a good point. Neither player did Super Bunny, which either you just aren't thinking about it, or at the same... Well, the thing is, without the... Oh, they do have the mirror, so... Yeah, interesting choice not to do that.
And actually, doing the Super Bunny, if you're feeling brave enough, you could make your way west from the top part of Death Mountain then, using the mirror and not need the hammer to get to Hera.
Oh my gosh, that's a brilliant point. I kind of expected it somewhat expected that from Zarby, since he was willing to fake Flipper to break the logic. Why he wouldn't Super Bunny to potentially break the logic even more?
You know, the biggest concern if that were to be executed is the damage that you're going to take from those darn mountain lions.
Oh, the Lionels?
Yourself kind of trapped on that bridge.
Well, with the Tempered Sword, they can actually do damage to it, so...
Not without the Moon Pearl, they can't.
That is a good point.
I am so glad you agree that that's a good point, because I think it is as well.
Yep. Path stand corrected. Alright, Zarby picking up a couple hearts for Moldorm. It's just a slash and a spin with the Tempered Sword.
Our first look at the Agana Cave. Too bad that Pika doesn't have the book at this point. You can knock out two birds with one stone and take a look at what's in Eastern or... I'm sorry, Desert. At the very least, they'll be able to take a look at what's on the ledge on his way back out.
Ooh, okay. Looked like Zarby accidentally poked Moldorm instead of getting that spin in, but managed to get off the other spin just in time. No trouble in getting a small key, but we will not be making a trip down into the basement. No siree, Bob. Shouts to Bob.
Yay, Bob.
50 rupees on the ledge, but without a book. Let's hope Pikapals will make it over to Lake Hylia and head up to Hobo. Oh, looks like he's gonna go farming. Oh, okay. Not a bad play. Might as well be the most efficient possible. Though that means that this might take him away from actually going to Hobo. So...
True.
This might be an unfortunate turn of events, unless he finds something equally valuable at Hobo.
You're gonna head to the lake, though, and go straight to that void if you're taking the time to rush this farming.
Mm-hmm.
Don't delay your trip to see what he's got.
Oh, and interesting to see Zarby going for Sahasrahla. I don't think he's gonna make a trip into Eastern when he knows he can complete Desert Palace. Especially with Eastern being a pendant dungeon. But checking these first three chests is not a bad idea.
Absolutely nothing special in Sahasrahla's back room, storage room.
If I had a few extra bombs, or I had them on my hotbar, I would have gave Sahasrahla a couple words. Alright, Zarby, what's your next play? Looks like he's gonna make a big play on Eastern Palace. What are your thoughts on this, DT? How do you feel about that?
You know what? It's a play that I'll make from time to time. I don't think it's a bad one. Going through Eastern's fairly quick. A little bit annoying when you have to go and check the native big key chest.
Oh yeah, that one's
you've got 3 items within here.
Mm-hmm. And it always seems like Armos has the last item, like 75%.
It does seem like that's really common. But I found a handful of useful items in this first chest that Zarby's about to open up. Having the big key early helps, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like Pikapals didn't get enough rupees and is choosing to go to Hobo instead. Good play. He must be listening in.
We'll see if he changes his plans on Zora, though, after this, and goes straight to Desert himself.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised I'm not seeing Desert from Zarby at this point. If you have a dungeon you can complete it.
Yeah, that's never a bad play. The number of times that you find required items in the dungeons can certainly outweigh the amount of time that you spend searching. I tried to combine the words searching and checking there. It didn't really work.
Cape,
so
cloak.
Don't try it.
I've done it before.
We all have. Checking the overworld, though.
Alright, well, Pikapals is going to hope that he finds some rupees on his way to Zora. I'm surprised he didn't farm a little bit more. If he was going to farm, why didn't he farm the whole time? Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have gone back in and gotten those extra 10 rupees.
Mhm.
Try to kill a couple of Zoras now. That's you know, not the
He's
nicest thing in the
going.
world.
He's going with the good plan of if you stun them, they will always drop a green rupee.
Is that true?
Yep. Oh, and the ball on the ledge. Okay, that's looking rough for Zarby.
Well,
Get out of
OP
here.
boomerang. Home run.
Well, regardless, he's losing a little bit of time here, but the fact that Zarby's going through Eastern, and it looks like he's not going to be able to find anything. I'm willing to eat those words. This is looking good for Pikapals.
I think so. I'm curious. The green rupee farming that we're seeing with the Zoras, that's in the vanilla game, you say?
No, it's a
No, it's
randomizer
not.
exclusive.
Is it? Okay. I was not aware of that.
Mm-hmm. No,
That's
we
actually good
had
to know.
in the last race I commentated today, we had someone farming Zoras, and Vitor. I mean, Vitor was saying that. Oh, and the hammer and bow from Zora's domain.
Zora's domain is the new original hype domain.
Yeah, seriously.
Call it a cave. It's not a cave, I guess.
That pedestal hype it's lingering, guys. It's lingering on the edge. Chat saying it's in vanilla. Well, I'll have to test it.
Yeah, the point I was going to make, I'm curious, if it were to be in vanilla, I'm surprised that the green drop there wouldn't have been random. I mean, can you freeze enemies with the ice rod and then hammer them and get magic still in Randomizer?
I do not know. Moon Pearl from King's Tomb.
Each of our players finding some very exciting items.
Pikapal's gonna pick up his garbage from behind Sahasrarla's tent. And the curious thing is, okay, gonna go with the save and quit. He's not gonna go into Eastern.
Interesting. Relatively quick as it is, having the bow, knowing that it's the green pendant.
Yeah, you never know if Sahasrarla's holding on to something. The single arrow from Witch's Hut. I personally would still... If I was in the area, I might go into Eastern and do that and finish that out, but...
It doesn't get much more in the area than Sahasrarla's hut.
Right, but I would definitely still prefer going to Desert Palace over anything. Okay, Zarby's gonna go ahead and do all of Dark World Death Mountain now that he can, with the hookshot, the Titan's Mitts, and finally the Moon Pearl.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all. I'm gonna find out what's inside Desert Palace.
It's nice to see such route deviation, though.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't get, especially at this point, they each have items that give each runner their own unique advantage. You might have who's got any sort of an edge. It's only a half hour in, but sometimes you can tell, especially if they're taking a similar route.
Yeah. Now, someone was pointing out the rupee room that's in Eastern Palace. I think it grants you 90 rupees.
Yes.
It was a shame that, despite not having, since Zarby didn't have much rupees, how he didn't choose to go in there and grab some. But then at the same time, he might not have Zora on his mind while he's going through there. But we're seeing half magic from Desert Palace so far. That's item number 1 of 2. And the red mail for Zarby. Oh, here we go.
Nice look at the Dark World. I did notice that the red pendant was at Ice Palace, and that was about it.
Pod and T-Rock are 5 and 6. And then you said Ice was red as well?
Ice was red.
Trying to mark these whilst also keeping track, because there's a lot of items going on screen right now. Blue at Skull Woods, thank you. Alright, cool. Cool.
Making a quick calculation based off the 5 and 6 crystal dungeons, there's not a whole lot that the Fat Fairy would be able to hold.
Right. She can't hold the cane.
Flute, possibly.
Can't hold the hammer.
Can't hold Ice Rod or Fire Rod or the bow.
But with dependent dungeons being Eastern, or not Eastern, yeah, Eastern Skull and Ice, what options does that give us? Flute can definitely be at the pedestal.
Flute, Cane of Samaria,
Yeah.
Magic Powder, technically. You never know if the bat might have something, which would be really obnoxious.
That would be... I love fetch quests.
Troll, right? Pendant Powder, or Pedestal Powder in exchange for the Cane of Samaria? We can theorize all we want, but let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, we still have a lot more items to find before we can start dropping ideas like that. Yeah, both players pretty much in the same region right now, and we saw a little bit of rupee farming from Zarby. Not enough to get to 500. He's probably hoping he's going to find some more within Desert Palace, such as the 50 rupees that are on the ledge. Alright, let's see how good of a landmole fight Pikapals has. Without the Fire Rod or the Silver Arrows, he's probably going to have to just use Tempered Sword strats, which... I mean, what is that, like... 3 slashes, maybe? I'd have to get up the info sheet. The boss HP info sheet. Oh, look, here it is.
Tempered Sword does 4, so 4 regular slashes, 2 spin attacks.
Ah, okay.
Not bad. Should be a pretty quick fight. Nice and easy going.
So yeah, the big thing that these players are missing is Pikapals needs to go check the tomb over by Sanctuary.
Yeah, Tomb's the big one.
To get his
that
Moon
Moon
Pearl.
Pearl, open the world right up.
And Zarby needs to go to Zora to get his bow and hammer.
Nice triple hit on that last land mold. Finding Quake.
Quake Medallion. We
Now,
still don't know the value of that yet.
When Zarby was on the mountain, he didn't check the Turtle Rock entrance by chance?
I don't believe so. But it looks like both players are going to be picking up 2 of the 3 medallions upon completion of this dungeon, so just gotta hope it's one of those 2. Alright, looks like Pikapals is finally going to make his way through Eastern now that he has the bow. I don't remember if we saw all 3 items in Eastern, but that green pendant is looking like a possibility. He might also be thinking, where's that Moon Pearl? I don't know.
Yeah,
Which
we
is
know
a
that it's in the
little
King's Tomb. It's 1 item location. Eastern Palace is going to have 3 for him. Probably feeling like 3 versus 1 is the better play at this point.
Technically 4 if you count green pendant, but
True.
yeah.
Of course, no, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, sometimes you gotta always have in the back of your mind, like, I gotta check Bonk Rocks and I gotta check King's Tomb. King's Tomb especially. That one's easy to miss.
And you know, those are both so easy to get to if you just save and quit, start from Sanctuary. They're both right there.
And sometimes players, I mean, in the last race that I commentated, sometimes players will wait until they're in the Dark World to go check those. They'll just, if they have the mirror, they'll pop back in the Light World and grab those on their way.
Yeah.
While they check north of Graveyard, so...
Check north of Graveyard, and if you have the cape, do the bumper cave, you can potentially check 4 spots all in one go.
Yeah, and everyone has their own routing options, so we can't judge them for that.
No, and you know, I've said it before, as many randomizer players as there are, there's about twice as many different routes that people will choose between. Always different. But it's good to have that variation. It shows that you're thinking quickly on the fly. You're not always following the same spot regardless of what items you have.
Yeah, and we have the advantage of knowing where everything is as soon as one of the players gets it. And then we're just like, why isn't he not going here? It's so hard to not be like a, you know, a keyboard critic. What's the term? I don't know. We have hindsight. We have knowledge that they don't. So, just interesting to see when they eventually get around to checking those. Wow, someone telling me to shut my mouth? Alright. DT, it's all you then. My mouth is going to be drinking coffee.
No problem.
I will do a play-by-play. Do a play-by-play.
Play-by-play? Okay, so we dropped the bomb strats going on Landmola as Pikapals goes through the boss key, entering the Popo room with the 2 Igors. Zarby's still going with the bombs. Spin attacks on Landmola, picks up the pot, gets the green potion, goes up the stairs. Beautiful, we have 2 dead Landmolas, 3 dead Landmolas. We're in an anti-fairy room, picking up the pot, pressing the switch, and heading west. Picking up the Quake Medallion and crystal number 2. Any faster and I'd be an auctioneer. What are we selling today, Will?
I got some kappas.
You do have some kappas, but you were told to shut your mouth. So what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Don't respond to me.
I'm sorry.
You know, I'll let it go this time. It's good to have you back.
That's pretty good coffee. Guatemalan. Anyway, interesting to see the bomb strats coming out. Now, as far as I know, bombs do equivalent to fighter sword slashes. It's just that they have a lingering hitbox and can sometimes hit multiple enemies more than once or multiple enemies at the same time. But not a bad play.
No, I haven't seen that before, personally.
I've done it in my very few and far between NMG runs, using bombs and arrows, and I suck at hitting them with the arrows, so I'd be like, hey, bombs seem like a good idea. It was
timing on those arrows isn't great. Zarby's not going to be too far behind, even though... Yeah, he'll have to go through a little bit of Eastern. Unfortunately, the way that dungeon's mapped out, he's still going to have to hit most of it. But now that he's got his 500, he'll head straight to the Zora, grab his hammer, grab his bow. He'll be right on the heels of our Pikapal friend.
Yeah, let's see what Sahasrahla has. The shovel!
Well, you know, this could be required. You never know. These fetch quests have been trolly lately.
If not, you can go back and dig Sahasrahla a grave. Too dark? Is that too dark?
No.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, that is true. Zarby can go to the Dark World if he wants to. He has a few options of getting there. This is a much better play. Honestly, I'm of the persuasion of knocking out as many Light World locations as I possibly can before committing to the Dark World. And we find 300 rupees at the dig spot. Shoutouts to Sahasrahla. All that money.
You know, someone put
secret
that
stash.
They're going to be looking for it at some point. They didn't forget that it's there.
Maybe Sahasrahla gave him the shovel with an agreement to split the difference. Split your findings. That's not happening. We will never see Sahasrahla again. Alright, looks like Pikapals is on his way to pick up not only whatever's in here, which I don't remember, but the Moon Pearl as well.
Rick, I'm going to thank you in advance for that clip. I'm sure it's spectacular.
Oh, I got it. I've got it opened up. It's going to save that one for later. Alright, Pikapal's picking up his Moon Pearl. Where's Zarby off to? It looks like he's probably going to go head to the Dark World from north of Kakarika Village. Hit up the Village of Outcasts without the Fire Rod, though. Well, Skullwoods isn't required, so...
No, there's a certain comfort, though, being able to check all of Thieves Town in one go. Having the hammer, not needing to come back and forget about that big chest.
Yeah, because that is a huge time sink if you have to go back through Thieves Town and check that big chest. Problem is, Zarby has no money, so he's not going to go into chess game. I believe it's 30 rupees for chess game and 80 rupees for digging game.
That's correct.
So Pikapal's having all that money from Sahasrahla's questionable dig site might come in handy. I don't know. We'll see what items we get from Thieves Town.
I suspect there's going to be something good here. There seems to be more often than not.
Right,
only a heart container in the chest game, so that's not going to be a huge deal if Zarby doesn't get to it immediately. That's one of those spots that's so easily accessible that I don't think I've ever seen a runner not do it.
To what?
The chess game.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah.
Or the broken chess game?
Well, in general.
Okay. I've seen players forget C-shaped house. Shoutouts to Gamer Cal. Alright, I gotta give out my shoutouts, that's what I do. Wait, why am I fired? Alright, well, I'll just go back and drink my coffee again. DT?
We can do some more play-by-play. Checking the bombable hut, finding a heart container, Zarby going up the stairs, making his way back north into Thieves Town, avoiding these fire bars beautifully. They do hurt, but only on that first bar, or first circle, I should say. Pikapals making his way down. He's probably going to hit the digging game first, check that, and then on his way back north, check the Frog World Tour, see what kind of a show we've got with the Frogman. That's all I got this time.
I mean, play-by-play is better for, like, you know, boss battles.
Exciting parts.
I'll give you some credit for that.
I could do play-by-play on this, though. He's digging. He's digging. He's digging.
He's digging again.
He digs. He digs. He's almost there. He digs. He finds a 20 rupee. That's not the one. He finds another 20 rupee. That's the one. There we go. Beauty.
You might want to listen to the... Oh! Thieves Town is a pendant?
I can't actually hear the game audio at this point.
Thieves Town is a pendant.
You know what?
And chat lied to me. Chat told me Skull Woods was a pendant. That's it. I'm never listening to chat ever again. Say what you want, you guys are liars.
I don't think the trek through Thieves Town is a bad idea, though.
No, it's not. Especially when you have the hammer. And 4 potential items.
How many times have we seen something good just in the room where you bomb the floor alone? I've seen the hammer in there twice. I've seen the hook shot in there. You can't count it out, ever.
Never, never. So that means that Skull Woods is required. And these players are going to be looking for that fire rod eventually. Pikapals finding the invisibility cape in the peg room. Peg cave?
Peg clave? For the clave?
The clape. Alright, moment of truth. And it's bombs. Now these players have not checked the pedestal, and we don't know if that's still required, so...
I don't see any reason to check that anytime soon, even if only because of how out of the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, they have all the stuff that they need to check it if they were to go through Skull Woods, except for the fire rod. So there's going to be a wild goose chase looking for that fire rod before they can go up to Skull Woods and check that. Yeah, at this point, players are pretty much looking for the King of Samaria, the flute, potentially Bombos. T-Rock being a pendant dungeon means we won't be really needing the ice rod, but you never know. Oh, nice use of the hookshot dashing with the chest. Makes it so you can dash around with that stupid thing following you without it being abandoned. Get the bug net! Aww. No bug
Tough
net.
choices, tough choices. Actually, no, what am I saying? Not a tough choice. You should always get the bug net. Speaking of bug nets, we hate insects. Insects comes really bug blind.
That
don't do it, don't do it. Oh, Pika just lost the chest.
No, it should be fine.
Yeah?
I think you can go...
It would disappear.
Nope.
No. Don't listen to
Unless
me.
you save and quit, it'll always just stay in that same spot.
I'm testing everybody.
Because sometimes you'll see players go on down here, they'll go past the rock, and then they'll leave it next to Swamp, and then run up and go check Hype Cave, and it'll still be there.
That makes
You might
sense.
see him do it here right now. Yep. And a brilliant blind fight from our boy Zarby, grabbing that blue pendant. I didn't see what item was dropped by blind, but it didn't look like it was much. Alright, let's see what we got over here in Hype Cave.
Another 20 rupees to start it off. Not too hyped. Still not hyped. Finds a piece of the third chest. He finds a heart container. Opening the 4th chest. Finds a King of Samaria.
Now there. Saving the best for last.
It's something you know you're gonna need.
At first I was disappointed, but now I'm not. Oh, generous guy. You so hype. Alright, we're kind of running out of items. I mean, we already knew that that couldn't possibly be at the pedestal, but flute! Still definitely a possibility.
Flute and magic powder still could be.
I'm holding my breath.
Don't do it hold too long.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, good. I need you here, man.
Alright, Pikapal's going to check with the purple chest guy. I believe... Have we seen this? I don't... No, Zarby's a little behind, so he hasn't done like that. Oh, and a piece of heart. And he's probably going to go check Bombo's tablet, and... Swamp Palace is a crystal. They have everything they need to complete it, and with 6 items...
I would say go there.
Yeah, that'd be a good play to do next. Alright, moment of truth. Bombos, what are you holding on to? Anything of value? Piece of heart? Red rupee? $50?
Well, I mean, that is technically value. 50 rupees worth of value.
Yeah, If only that had some... I mean, he could go up and buy a potion. He's got an empty bottle. Zarby picking up his red. Zarby? Okay. Oh, he's still going for more. I mean...
It's not bad. He's probably keeping in mind he still needs at least 110 to get into the Palace of Darkness.
Ah, that is a good point. I always forget about that one. Alright, Pikapal's going to be heading up to Dark World Death Mountain, where he's going to find himself a red mail. And that was it, really?
That might have been about it.
Man, that's rough. Usually you see a lot of stuff over there, but we're kind of running out of item locations, and we're kind of running out of items.
I think it's about time to start heading into some dungeons and see what those bring up.
Yeah, especially, I'm surprised. I mean, what would you go Dark World Death Mountain, or would you do Swamp Palace? I mean, you have to do Swamp regardless.
I would have done Dark World Death. The only exception would have been, yeah, right after Bombos, you're right there. I probably would have gone back and done Swamp first.
Okay. I mean, both have, what is it, 2 and 5? So like 7 up in Dark World Death Mountain versus the 6 in Swamp. I mean, anytime you can boss rush dungeon, you take it. And Swamp is one of those dungeons where you can literally go straight to Argus. All you need is a few small keys along the way. So that's a good dungeon. That, Ice Palace, those are like the best dungeons where you're like, I don't have to do all this. Same with Skull Woods.
Oh, Skullwoods is especially easy. Knowing now that we need the Ether Tablet to get into Turtle Rock, it's a good piece of knowledge to have both of our runners have it.
Just in case they ever want to take... Oh wait, no, T-Rock is required. Guys, okay, I did 4 randos yesterday. I've already commentated 1 today and watched 2 today, so if I make any mistakes, it's because I'm probably thinking of a previous rando. That's my John right now.
Well, if that's the case, I shouldn't have any excuses.
Right.
So
you've been MIA for a while.
Yeah, you know, work does that from time to time.
Yeah, no, don't blame you.
So if I do flub up, we'll just assume that I was testing people again, and that you guys are the real stars here, the real MVPs.
Actually, they're right. No Johns, so I apologize. I will not make any more excuses.
I like the idea of randomized commentary, though. Pikapal's gonna check the Spike Cave, I assume. After the Ether Tablet. He didn't have the book his first time up here, that's right.
Yep. Both players skipping out on the bug net. I mean, with the red mail, plenty of hearts, it's not a bad choice, but at the same time, that bug net was not that far from the door. It would have been hard to grab that. Now, had it been like, I don't know, inside Spectacle Cave, then that's kind of you could probably skip that. Yeah, Pikapals hasn't done Spiral Cave yet either, so it looks like he's going to go back and check that out.
He'll get the red boomerang.
Zarby's taken a very strange route with Purple Chest. Yeah, that was a very slow route. I'm surprised he didn't go past the Titan Mitts rock. He's going to be picking up his Cane of Samaria, as well as some hearts, heart pieces, rue pieces.
And then they're going to be, aside from the Mirror Shield, exactly the same on items.
Yep. So item locations, both players still have left to check. Spike Cave.
Between about the 15-minute mark and the 40-minute mark, a lot of different routing. They're still not anywhere near the same places. But it seems that it's all caught back up in terms of item count. Each player has 2 crystals, 1 pendant, although different pendants.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of an advantage there from either one.
Yeah, we still need to find out if that pendant, if those pendants are going to be of value, if that pedestal is going to be making a cameo in this race. Looks like Pikapals is going to be making his way into Palace of Darkness, which is a crystal, and it's one of, it's either 5 or 6. I believe that doesn't really matter. It's one of the large Marge crystals, so. And with Lantern in hand, we're not going to be seeing any dark rooms. So when you go into pod, how do you like to route it? do you do the whole front half first, and then do all the back?
For the most
Or are
part.
you weird like me, and like to do the back part first, and then the front part?
There's a couple ways to play it. Obviously, you gotta go left first and get the chest that's in that first basement. Usually it's a small key. If it's not, then you're obviously forced to take the right path. If it is a small key, I'll typically head north, do a couple of things there, check, I'll head up that right path at the fork, check the chest in the next room, come back down, and then, assuming that the small keys are working out, check the big key chest, drop down, check that chest, I'll take the void, I'll go in the back way, kill the mimics, you know, that whole path.
Mm-hmm.
Knock those 2 chests out so that I'm finishing off exclusively in the back area.
Oh, Zarby, there's that mirror shield still. Maybe he was waiting. Maybe he'll get it after he finishes Swamp. It'll be waiting for him. Now this is exciting. We get to see 2 players doing 2 crystal dungeons, but which one is going to have the more value?
So far we have a single rupee from Palace of Darkness, so that technically has a lead.
And also, due to my previous mistake about claiming T-Rock as a pendant dungeon, that does potentially put Fire Rod and Ice Rod, I believe, on the pedestal as well. It all depends on if they can find Bombos to do Ice Palace.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right about that, so that opens up the possibilities quite a bit.
I'm excited to see which routing Zarby takes in Swamp, because much like Pod, I have a weird. I like to go straight to Argus.
Sure.
And then come back and do the 2 chests on the left, potentially big chests as well. Because a lot of times Argus will be the one holding the big key. So it kind of makes sense to go straight to him, but if you do the left chest and then you do Argus and he has the big key and you're like, oh wait, I haven't gotten the dungeon map yet, then you don't end up having to go into the dungeon again.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right, I actually think I like that idea a little bit better myself. I used to go to the western side first, but for that reason, of knowing that you may not need to even check a couple of chests. Heading straight to Argus has kind of stolen my heart, I suppose.
I believe Skullwoods is a crystal. So Fire
That's what our
Rod
trackers say.
So Fire Rod
Master Sword.
Fire Rod can be at the pedestal.
Yeah, the only pendant that isn't completed by either runner is Ice Palace. If they could find Bombos, that would open it up, make it a real possibility.
Which, Bombos only Ice Palace runs are... They're not fun.
No.
They have half magic, so it's not as bad, but it's still
they're bearable.
Especially if you end up doing like a full clear of that dungeon.
We still got a few chests left in Pod, as well as Swamp.
Yeah, I haven't seen
So let's see what happens. We still have plenty of breathing room before we have to worry about that.
Alright, let's see what we got over in Dark Maze. Players still looking for those required items that they need to finish up this game. The sooner they can go into Go mode, the better. I'm sure these players are both also looking for those silver arrows to make that Ganon fight a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm not personally familiar with the skill of either one of the runners, even though I know they've done quite a few races. But to know whether or not they can take care of an arrowless Ganon, that's not in my knowledge banks.
Nope. Neither mine. Though I will say, the only knowledge I have is, Oh, Pikapals, what are you doing? What did he do?
I got the rest of the chests.
Okay.
He's heading straight to Helmasaur now. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he didn't have a small key to check the big key chest. So that'll be his next stop, and then Helmasaur. I mean, yeah, technically true, we could have Silver Arrows or the Butter Sword in the pedestal as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of options right now.
In terms of required items, though...
Yeah, it's less and less as time goes on. so hard to keep track of both players when they're in completely different dungeons, especially both these dungeons having a lot of chests.
Fortunately, they're not really opening chests at the same time. Makes it a little bit easier to take a look at what's going on.
Well, I mean, Pod has 14 chests or item locations, with 5 of them being potentially required items, while Swamp has 10, with 6 of them being potentially required items.
Yeah, that's just crazy, isn't it?
That's a lot to keep track of.
I don't ever stop to think about how many chests there are in total. All I think about are the dungeon items and the non-dungeon items. The small keys are a totally different count.
Oh, and there's the flute. Flute from Swamp. It's like Swamp was the better choice at this point. Oh, let's see if Zarby gets that little staircase glitch. And he's going back down.
Right back down, right up the stairs and right back down.
And he's going back up. And he's clear for takeoff. Alright, Zarby going back to check this dungeon map.
Only the map, unfortunately.
Alright, I'm excited to see some boss play from both these players. They have plenty of resources to do these bosses pretty quickly. Tempered Sword definitely helps out a lot. I don't exactly remember the count for Helmasaur, but without the Fire Rod, we can't get to like the quick kill on the second phase of Argus. But it's only 2 or 3 spins, I think. DT furiously typing.
Yeah, sorry about that. 2 spins with the Tempered Sword.
Right. 17 hits with the hammer on Helmasaur's stupid mask. I'll take that off. Some players are like, oh, you should use bombs. That's definitely an option, but
it only takes a few bombs. The problem is Helmasaur moves around so erratically.
The chances of you missing and then it ending up costing you time is not worth the risk. And yeah, 4 hits with the Tempered Sword makes quick work of King Helmasaur, not Mini Helmasaur. Red Ruby versus Treble. What does Argus have?
Yeah, that wasn't Mini Helmasaur, was it?
Nah, he's a little too big for that. Oh, and there's the Bombos tablet.
There was no issue with medallions anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So I assume he's going to go activate the flute and head straight to Meyer at this point.
Yeah, and with Bombos in hand, Ice Palace is looking... Nah, no one's going to Ice Palace. We're going to Meyer. When you have the Canis Amaria and at least one of the 2 light sources, Meyer is definitely looking like a possibility at this point. He might go to Pod, but he's going to go back to Kakariko and get his flute activated. Okay, Chat, help me out here. Which screen are we listening to right now? Because we don't have audio, and you guys are only listening to one of the screens. I'm just curious.
A good question.
We're listening to Zarby's. Okay.
Are we? Please rise, remove your caps, and join us for the national anthem. I am the quacking duck, flying you to and fro. I have silly webbed feet. Look at me go. Meyer Mountain or Lake, flying you at your will. I do not charge a fee, but I still have a bill. Normally done at the beginning of events, but 58 minutes in was just as fitting in this case. You know, little fun fact, actually. A good buddy of mine helped me come up with those words. His name was Francis Scott Bigkey, back in the year 1814.
I wasn't ready for that. That's good. I'm gonna need that in writing though, so we can go over those lyrics. But
you know, we can make some revisions. But you know, early 1800s lingo was a little bit different. He worked with the English that they had at the time.
Oh, there's we got the fire on. Now, guys, I just want to let you know that DT told me he had a little surprise in store for the stream that was of potential meme material, and I just want to let you guys know that I had no part in that. Unless you guys really liked it, and then if that's the case,
and at that point, he's just going to steal the credit. But you know what? We're all in this together.
Something, 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 High School Musical, something, something. Alrighty.
So we did get the fire rod then. Where was it? Was that
Fire
in
rod
the
was-
Meyer Cave here?
Yeah, Meyer
Okay.
Cave. And apparently Zarby also decided to say no to the Mirror Shield. He's too good for it. And now that he has the Fire Shield, that's fine. But still, I guess because he never went into the Light World after finishing Swamp, because he was going to go straight up to go... He went to the Dark World to go get to Kakariko, when... You know, it might have been better to save and quick, go to Sanctuary and dash there. It's a little bit quicker.
I think it would have been a little bit quicker, but it may be a difference of a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of open room to dash.
So at this point, there's still the potential of Ice Rod being at the pedestal.
There is-
Dreams are not shattered, guys.
No, but
There
they
is
can.
still hope.
I think it's smart of Zarby to go through the rest of the dungeons at this point. See what he can track down, take a look for, find.
Yeah.
Ice Rod's
Might as
really
well
the thing he's
knock
looking
out-
for.
Might as well
I'm
knock
still-
out all the dungeons.
I'm still secretly hoping for Powder pedestal, and then Ice Rod from
Gosh. I mean, we have seen it before. I believe Andy had a race where Powder was at the pedestal, but it wasn't. It didn't lead to anything else. I don't even know if he ended up getting it. I don't think he did, but. But yeah, here's the thing though. Do you just keep doing all the dungeons 100% until you hope to find the Ice Rod? Or, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, what other overworld spots do we have? We have Spike Cave?
I'm such a huge advocate. You know, technically, before I finish that thought, we could have Ice Rod in Turtle Rock, as you are well familiar.
Before you finish that thought, did either of the
Well, it's
players
finished.
check,
It's finished.
before you think of another thought, did both of these players check Ice Rod Cave? Could we see a vanilla
I feel like
Ice
one
Rod?
of them did.
I don't remember. Chad, help me out here, guys. But yeah, Ice Rod in Mimic Cave or Last Chest in T-Rock. Ooh. Now that'd be a hoot.
That's right. I lost my train of thought from before, though. Oh yeah, no, I'm a big advocate of doing the crystal dungeons pretty much as soon as you're able to.
Mm-hmm.
We're only looking for the Ice Rod. He's got 3 crystals right now. I think it's smart to go and get the other 3 before heading to Turtle Rock or trying to find it at that point.
Yeah,
I feel like it
doing
takes a lot of pressure off.
I'm sure the players, though, well, yeah. What happens if they finish all the crystal dungeons and it's like, do I do T-Rock or do I go into a pendant dungeon? Like Pendant Ice Palace. To get the Ice Rod in the Ice Palace.
Well, in a serious answer to your very cold analogy, I still gotta go with getting those crystals done. Because that way, you take a look through the Ice Palace, you might only have to check 1 or 2 chests, find the Ice Rod, and then you can just mirror straight out. The flip side of that is needing to full clear all of the crystal dungeons on the way, but at least you get the crystals done if you don't find it.
Yeah. And the Ice Rod is just one of those items that are really, it's like the silver arrows, but with like one notch of requirement to complete the game. If Trinex didn't require the Ice Rod for whatever, for whatever reason, like, if Ice Rod didn't exist, this game would be, it'd be in go mode.
Well, perhaps in some parallel universe where Trinex only has a ice head. But I don't know
He's
that.
got two fire.
It would be, well, it wouldn't be Trinex. Binex, I guess? Yeah, let's go with that.
Finex.
I'm gonna step aside for a quick moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Willard J. Bradley.
Conway Twitty. That's his name, right? Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a fun-filled journey. This whole randomizer tournament has been for these past 3 weeks now. I don't remember what day this is. Is it day 23, 24, 25? But I don't know about you guys, but it's been an absolute treat. So I just want to stop for a second to thank and congratulate everybody that's been working on putting this together, everybody who's volunteering, putting in all their time to put together this fun little tournament, all the people that are racing, all the people that are commentating, all the people that are organizing, the developers, the viewers, everybody. I just want to thank all you guys. You guys have been awesome. Anyway, Zarby using the cape with half magic to clear Vitreous pretty quickly, and without the silver arrows, this is like the best option. We'll probably switch over to the arrows to hit him up with 8. 8 quick to the big eyeball to knock him down. As we have Pikapals working his way to the basement of Swamp Palace to take on Argus, where he's also going to be picking up Bombos and his flute, where he'll more than likely make his way on down to Mire as well, where he'll find the Fire Rod. Still on the lookout for that Ice Rod. I don't know where we're going to find it. And I'm assuming now that Zarby will probably go up and check Checkerboard Cave and then probably make his way... Or did he already check... I don't know if he did. I hope he did. He'll probably go knock out Skullwoods at this point and maybe even consider... No, he's already done Thieves Town. Oh, here we go. Are we going to see a Vanilla Ice Rod? Vanilla Ice Rod. I've never seen it before. I never want to see it again, but it would be really funny. Moment of truth. Every other time it's been a red rupee or a piece of heart or bombs. What is it going to be this time? It's a red rupee. Darn. I got my hopes up. Checkerboard was checked. Thank you so much. So now at this point, Zarby would probably need to make a play on Skull Woods, where we will potentially, finally, get to see what's at that pedestal. It's going to be hard not to hold my breath throughout the entirety of Skull Woods. DT, come back.
I'm back. I don't really like hearing about you holding your breath through Skull Woods, even though it's a quick dungeon. That's still a scarily long time.
That's a long time.
Please don't do that.
Also, if I'm doing that, I can't drink my coffee.
If you could do that and drink your coffee, that would be interesting.
Alright, Pikapals finishing off Argus, getting his Bombos medallion. Now, Ether was T-Rock, correct? So, unless... Oh, now with the Fire Rod, the Bombos tablet, or medallion is actually completely useless, so...
Yeah.
Unless these players like to do Bombo strats in Gauntlet, which I've seen before.
That's true, we do see that pretty often. The more that this goes on, though, I may actually place a bet on Ice Rod legitimately being in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we already checked Ice Rod Cave, so that's out. We still need to check Spike Cave, so players will probably check that on their way to T-Rock, maybe? Yeah, this is kind of getting...
Here's my question for you, though. Even though it's the hunt for the Ice Rod, presently, who has the lead? And I'll give you my answer. I gotta go with Pikapals at this point, only on the notion that checking all of Palace of Darkness is gonna take a little bit of time for Zarby.
Yeah, that is a bit of a long dungeon, and with a lot of chests to have to check. It might take some time. But both these players do, at this point, have Skull Woods, or not Skull Woods. Never mind. I was getting confused. They just finished Swamp Palace. So are we going to be finishing up Skull Woods and Pikapals heading into Mire?
Be that as it may, seems like an appropriate time to say, hey, go follow these runners. This is an extremely close race at this point. The hunt for the Ice Rod is essentially on.
Yo, and that entrance was in sync. That was good stuff. Yeah, seriously, follow these runners. They are putting up a really good fight.
Oh, good thing he opened the right chest. He blocked himself in on another one.
But he's going to have to go back and check that anyway.
He's going to want to, that's for sure.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And, is Zarby not using the mirror to warp back to the beginning of this room, or this section? Slightly quicker, not taking any hits from the Gibdos, but with the red mail, it doesn't really do much of a difference. And Zarby also knowing he has enough keys to finish Skullwood, so he doesn't need to grab that other key from the pot. And Pikapal's gonna go check that Checkerboard Cave. Oh, it was 300 rupees.
He doesn't need any more rupees at this point, though.
No thanks. Oh, okay.
See, should have had that bug net. There's a fairy flying around there.
There it is.
Half magic through Skullwoods makes quick work of the Gibdos, not guaranteed to have the magic drops from them due to the random shuffled, nice redundancy, prize packs. Well, this is DT.
I liked it.
Department of Redundancy Department. Nice to meet you.
Hey, can you go grab some? I need some money from the ATM machine. Alright, Mothula, everyone's favorite boss. Let's see how he do against Zarby.
Think about one more hit. Should do it, maybe 2.
Up! If he keeps hitting him in the spikes, he's gonna take like 3 or 4.
There it is. Very quick fight, nice.
Yeah, not too bad. You gotta make sure that he's at least kind of in the center. If you hit him into the spikes, then you're not really doing much damage. Not at all. Which makes for a very frustrating Mothula fight. My pin number is 7.
Well, that was
my
redundant
address.
too. Personal identification number.
Everybody's got jokes. Well, who's
Good
the
to have
funniest?
jokes.
All
You
right,
gotta live a little. Here it is.
moment of truth.
What's in it? What's in it, guys?
Ice rod, ice rod, ice rod.
Ice rod. No, you're not gonna cheer with me anymore?
Please.
No!
All right.
14 hearts is more than good enough. Not quite the bargain that we were looking for.
Just end the stream. It's over.
Wow. Damn, you know what? Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.
It's been fun. Stay tuned. We are doing the 3-way tiebreaker up. I'm just kidding. We're gonna stick around. This race is too good to ditch.
It is. It's been fantastic, in all seriousness.
But guys, despite the fact that Pedestal did not have Ice Rod, we could still see players go into all 3 dungeons. We have already seen 1 player do Eastern and 1 player do Thieves, so if Ice Rod is in Ice Palace, you're pretty much getting a Pedestal seat.
If Ice Rod is from Cold Stair specifically, we may be getting that.
That would be the most brutal.
It would at least be all 10 dungeons completed by a combination of the runners.
Yeah, so it's close enough, guys. Come on, we can give it some credit.
I don't think we had taken a look at Bumper Cave yet. I don't think Pika made his way up there. Only an aero capacity upgrade. Certainly not worth the bargain either.
Nothing to get excited about. And with Skullwood's out of the way, it looks like Zarby's going to be heading on over to Pod next. It looks like he's going to check north of Graveyard on his way. Have these players checked Quakefish yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Have these players checked Pyramid yet?
Oh, there's an idea.
Oh my gosh. Ice Rod could be on the
Have they?
Pyramid.
I don't recall.
No, I don't think they have. And the only time they would have is if they were doing... Pyramid was checked? Hasn't been checked? Oh, you guys are confusing me. I mean, neither player did Aga, so why, at what point... Oh, Pika went and checked?
50 rupees. Consensus is that it was 50 rupees, Will. You can take a step back now. You know, chat's got it.
Okay. Alright, thanks, chat. Whew. It's like our 3rd commentator. Shouts to you guys. I was about to get all hyped up. Catfish on Pyramid?
So we have random item locations for item locations.
Oh god.
There's
that
an
would be
idea for
horrible.
version 9, VTorp. Get on it.
Or such as, like, an Escape, or to get to Escape, or the King's Tomb. It could be any of those graves in the graveyard.
Oh, that's actually a cool idea. Random graves.
Or, like, the switches are randomized, like, the Marble Room in Eastern Palace, or the room leading up to past the Bomb Wall in G-Tower.
You know, one of the more trolly ideas I'd ever heard was random button inputs. But only a little piece of love from the Quakefish. You know, he comes out of that water with that big smile. Wants to say, hey, Link, I love you. Here's a quarter of my heart.
And Zarby was
Ooh.
nice enough to go ahead and take it.
Apparently he almost wanted to go back down, get the other parts of his heart. What are you thinking, Zarby?
I've only ever heard of the random button inputs from Super Metroid Randomizer, where every room, your button
that's a
inputs are
thing?
different. Yeah, it's a thing.
Wow.
And
Unreal.
Super Metroid is hard enough, and then to do that, it's just rude. It's just mean. Alright, looks like Zarby's heading down to check out Palace of Darkness, while Pikapals is finishing up Mire. And then he'll probably head on over to Skullwood, so our players are pretty much going to be caught at a crossroads, finishing up all the Crystal Dungeons they can, around the same time, though Palace of Darkness is a lot slower than Skullwood, so Pikapals might have actually that slight advantage, as you pointed out, TT.
Yeah, I think it's going to wind up coming neck and neck and evening itself out, though.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will say Pikapals also has the advantage because he already did Eastern Palace and knows that the green pendant only got him a shovel, which only got him 300
That's true.
rupees.
If you resort to checking pendant dungeons for a last remaining item, it's not a bad play to go do the one with the green pendant first, knowing that that bumps the item count up by 1.
And I don't know if Zarby... I don't remember if Zarby went in here prior to having the bow or not, but we could easily see him...
I don't think he went into pod, no.
Or
no, he didn't, because he was Kiki with him.
Not pod, Eastern.
Oh, Eastern. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I believe he did, and after getting the bow, he never went back to finish it.
Okay.
We know that he won't find anything there. He may be thinking it's a viable option. Not a bad idea, at all.
Alright, Pikapals heading up to Skull Woods. Now the question is, after Zarby beats Pod, he might have in the back of his head, well, Green Pendant could, Sahasrahla could be holding an Ice Rod, maybe I should mirror and finish out Eastern Palace. Which is not a bad idea, all in all. And then he's gonna get that shovel and he's gonna be like, oh, please have, please, Ice Rod and Dig Spot, and he's gonna find those rupees and be immediately crushed.
You know what, that adds to the chance, though, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have his 6th crystal after this. He basically just said it.
So now the last locations that we know...
Ice Palace and Turtle Rock? Spike
Ice
Cave?
Palace, Turtle Rock, Spike Cave. I think those are the last possible locations to check that these players combined have not been to yet.
Last possible entirely, yeah. I think they pretty much covered the overworld between the two of them. If not for both of them, even.
But yeah, it's gonna come down to what are you a betting man? Are you in a gambling mood? What are you feeling? You feeling like Ice Palace having that ice rod? Or are you thinking, I'm gonna go all out and hope I find NT Rock?
You know what? It's a huge gamble. I've never been a big fan of it. We saw it just the other day in Carcat's race. Took a huge gamble heading to Turtle Rock early.
And it paid off.
And it paid off.
And in my race with the OK guy, I had a choice of going to Pendant Swamp or Crystal T-Rock, looking for that ice rod, and I found it in the very last chest in T-Rock, and let me tell you, it was quite the feeling. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, you're hoping for it, and you open up that last chest. You don't see what you're looking for. The feeling of discouragement is real at that point. You have to determine how to go on and press on and not lose faith that you're going to find it.
I would actually like to see both these players gamble on T-Rock, like at the same time. Because I want a close race, and I don't want to see one... I hate seeing players going into an Ice Palace, or a Pendant Ice Palace, ever. For any reason at all. It's just... Ugh.
It's tough to get through. It's tedious. A small key placement can make things difficult. Not knowing Ice Palace bomb jump, although I think both of these runners might be comfortable with that. It can slow things down a little bit if you don't know it.
Teach me how to Ice Palace bomb jump.
You drop a bomb, you back up on a specific pixel, bomb explodes.
Okay.
Hooray!
Oh, that sounds easy. I'll give it a shot.
Nice, let me know how it goes.
Okay. Let me just get my Super Nintendo controller out.
Pikapals getting beam. That might actually be the first instance of Bunny that we've seen. I don't think that Zarby got caught by one.
I mean, they did go to the Dark World at some point without the Moon Pearl. DT. Unless you're just talking about Bunny Beams.
Well,
oh, wow. Beautiful fight.
Yes.
Beautiful Mothula fight from Pikapals.
Really, really nice.
So yeah, with the clearing of Skull Woods, he's... I mean, the thing is, Pikapals has not touched Thieves Town, while Zarby has. So is he going to go into Thieves Town, or is he going to go straight to T-Rock?
You know, like I said before, it's a good bet. 4 chest locations, 4 item locations. It's not terribly hard to get through.
Yeah, guys, I have the Ice Rod. I'm the villain here.
Oh, man. Which location are you?
I'm the location behind the pedestal. It's a secret.
It's a secret
Don't
to everyone.
tell anyone. you gotta whistle twice on the flute. And then you have to backspace, go back like 5 times, and you'll find a secret 9 up there in the Lost Woods. You'll find me there. I got coffee.
It's not ominous at all.
Well, now that you know, it's less ominous. You can't come now, DT.
Fine. I'm gonna sit here and watch Pikapals go through Thieves Town then.
Fine. I am too.
It's not a bad play by him.
No, it's really not. 4 chests. I'm sure he's just hoping that Blind does not hold the last item, that he can check those get those 4 chest item locations finished before having to finish the entire dungeon.
We know that that is an option. I think Blind dropped the... You know what, honestly, I don't remember what Blind dropped it. I feel like it might have been the compass.
It was quite a while ago.
Was, actually. Either way, to be this low on item locations at 1 hour and 20, very commendable. Both of our runners going through this pretty quickly.
Yeah. Very quick seed, except for that ice rod.
The one elusive item prevails again.
It's either that or the Cane of Samaria. Ridiculous items.
You know, they are the most common items to evade you.
Ice rod especially, just because it's only used for one thing. Imagine if, like, the Cane of Burrs had like, one use and that you had to use it for to clear a crystal dungeon. Or something in G-Tower.
I wonder if that just gives it the impression that it's more rare, just because its use is so much more limited.
Well, that's why if I'm playing a rando and, like, one of the first items I find is the ice rod, I'm like, sweet! Well, T-Rock is probably not required, but at least I have the ice rod now. So I can put that out of my mind. That and the cane, if I find both those early, I'm like, I'm living it. I'm feeling good. Because those are all... Those 2 and the bow are always the most troublesome.
Quick word with Helmasaur's mask, unfortunately getting bodied a little bit by those fireballs. Takes a couple of swings, and Mini King Helmasaur is down.
That's what he's called.
Fun fact for those that don't know, we saw him spit out those last fireballs. If you happen to break off his mask while those fireballs are in play, they will disappear. But sometimes it's not a bad idea if you see him starting to spit them out and you have 15 or 16 hits on the mask out of the 17. Just wait that extra moment. It can make your navigation around that room a little bit easier.
Alright.
So just as you said, he's heading into Eastern Palace.
It's not a bad play. I mean, if you're already here, you might as well knock it out.
I would probably do the same thing. What about you?
Yeah, especially with it being a green pendant. Even if it wasn't a green pendant, at this point, I'd be like, well, I'm going to have to check pendant dungeons anyway. I might as well check this one.
You know, another bonus to it being the green pendant is that it's the one that's right next to Hospitala's house.
So it's, of all the green pendant locations, it is the most convenient. But yeah, guys, it's coming down to... It's coming down to Spike Cave, Mimic Cave, caves that climb on rocks.
Or Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rocks. Ice Palace. You know, Spike Cave is looking really good right now. But that's just me.
Certainly looking sharp. Get
Now,
it?
did Zarby... Because it spikes?
Yeah.
Spikes are sharp?
Yeah, that's usually how they're made.
I quit.
You could hear a pin drop right now.
Intentional silence. I just wanted to let that linger for a little bit. Think about what you've done.
Oh, man.
Alright, both players knocking out some pendant dungeons. I told you guys, we might still see a pedestal C. Quote unquote. Don't quote me on that.
And the pedestal may not be pulled, but
good enough.
some combination of all 3 pendant dungeons may be completed.
It's just a matter of what these players do next. Now, Zarby is going to get to shovel and go on a bit of a wild goose chase, flying over to dig site to do that, but after he does that and Pikapals knocks this out, what's going to be next?
You know, before I speculate on that, they are literally neck and neck. Their inventories are the exact same right now.
Mhm.
They have the same crystal and pendant, they have the same inventory.
They both skip the bug net.
They both skip the bug net.
I'm calling collusion.
They must have planned it. You know, if we see the bug net in the Circle of Bushes cave, let's not pick it up. Only if it's in that location.
Write that down. I'm loving how close this race is, but this next play is going to be the play
It's the race.
of all plays.
The race within the race.
Oh, Pikapals has not checked Ice Ribbon.
I guess he didn't, no. I thought he was going to head straight to the Ice Palace at this point.
He might after this.
Mm-hmm.
And Zarby's going to go get his 300 rupees, and... Oh, we might have a dilemma. Now, what would you do at this point? Would you go into Ice Palace, the least favorite dungeon, except for some weird people that like Ice Palace for some reason?
You know what? I might be one of those weird people. I don't mind it terribly much. Small key locations pending, I don't find it terribly tedious to get through.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly good practice for the bomb jump.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a good point. Well, it looks like Pikapals is going to go into Ice Palace. Where's Zarby going? Zarby's going into T-Rock. This is it,
man.
guys. This is the moment of truth. Is Zarby going to go to T-Rock, or is he going to go into Spike Cave?
You know, the deviation at this point means that one person's going to wind up having a definitive lead, though.
Yeah.
That's what's exciting and nerve-wracking about this.
But it's exciting to see who made the right choice. Oh man, I'm starting to get nervous now.
You know what? Neither one of them are making bad choices either. That's the thing about this.
Honestly, I feel like Spike Cave would have been a better play prior to jumping into Ice Palace, but Pikapals was in the vicinity, so it made kind of sense. He might not even remember Spike Cave either. Oh my gosh, let's see what happens. Oh, Zarby, just
open the
touch
chest. You're teasing us all, man. Come on. Oh, it's well, you know what?
Magic.
I could still lead to it. I'm just gonna say it.
It's still a thing. All right, magic powder. What's the back got? But here's the thing: if this ends up not getting him anything, then who knows? Oh my gosh!
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen.
Every chest could be the chest. And
it's getting a little hypey. I think we need some more play-by-play. What do you think?
Oh man, I don't know if I can handle it.
Zarby goes into the menu, pulls out the hammer, hits the post. He's dropping down into the hole.
And we got Pikapals with the double kill on the Scalfo's Knight.
Making his way north. He switches to the powder.
Oh, and use the beams to get the jelly. And the ice pile bomb.
Great use of his beams, Willard.
What do we got? Batman, help us! Oh!
Oh, just a red rupee. Oh no.
Okay, Zarby, what are you gonna do? Oh, Pikapal's missing the Ice Palace bomb jump. It's okay, he's got plenty of hearts and plenty of bombs, but it looks like Zarby's continuing to commit to his T-Rock.
Backing up, moving down, trying to get that one pixel lineup. Nails it!
He got it!
He shoots and scores! 5-hole. So yeah, Turtle Rock's really the only logical place that Zarby's gonna head at this point. Everything else on the Dark Mountain has been checked.
Yeah, and it's a difference of 5 items to 3. And, yeah, it's insane that it's gonna come down to who felt like gambling at all. Because this, from Zarby, is the biggest gamble.
Mm-hmm. Pikapals, even though he's probably, I don't know, I would say about halfway through the dungeon at this point, we've seen one chest.
Yeah, and that's why Ice Palace is...
Yeah, everything's so deep into it.
I've seen Ice Rod right here.
We've seen it again! No way!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dead rocked by Zarby too. You know, add insult to injury. Pour salt on the wounds. He doesn't know it yet.
And now we get to watch Zarby go through all of T-Rock and not find it.
It's as if you had inside info, Will. How do you do it?
It's happened to me. I've gotten Ice Rod there before, so...
So just because it's happened to you, it's going to happen to other people? Is that how it is?
I mean, at this point in the race, it could be one of the 2 places. It just so happened to be that one, alright? Calm down.
You know what? You got this, man, right? You're good.
I'm golden. But this is rough to see for Zarby.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see no matter which runner it would have happened to.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the nature of it. That's the nature of the gambles. One pays off, one won't. When you have 2 locations, as you've said, you know. I said no math, but that's carry the 0, divide by 3. That's a 50-50 shot.
50% of the time, well, it is right every time. I like them odds. Those aren't odds. I like them percents. It's not how odds work, right? There's supposed to be a colon in there, right?
I don't know.
At this point, it doesn't matter. I'm too hype.
Ice Rod was in the 2 Stalfos, not Stalfos, they might as well be Ice Stalfos, yeah, I don't know. The Ice Guy room right above the big key chest.
I call them funny Ice Boys.
Funny Ice Boys? That works for me. I think that's in the player's guide, actually.
The official.
No, the unofficial one. I couldn't afford the official.
We couldn't do it. Alright, guys. The bootleg. I love that. That's a good clip.
You know, that's one of the biggest gambles, though, going between Ice Palace and Turtle Rock, looking for the Ice Rod specifically.
And honestly,
you know,
I think I would have done what Zarby would have done, because I just have this strong hate for Ice Palace.
That's
if
fair.
it was any other dungeon, I probably would have done that dungeon, but since it was Ice Palace, I'm like, nope. But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
The thing?
If I was to do... Here's a thing. Here's another thing. If I was to do Ice Palace, I wouldn't have done it 100%. I would have gone straight for NMG. Which, I mean, he was pretty much going for NMG route anyway. I don't know if he was going to go do Cold Steer regardless, but based on this logic, that first chest with the 2 Ice Boys, I've seen good stuff there. Now that's just anecdotes, so that doesn't say anything.
You know what? You're right, though. The very first randomizer that I played was absolutely cruel to me because I didn't know that much about the mechanics of this game. I wound up having to go into Ice Palace with Bombos only, not knowing that I could originally, and I found the Fire Rod in that chest.
Oh my god, that's funny. That's brutal. I know, I remember, like, early on, I was thinking to myself, like, hey, Vitorb, does it consider Bombos when routing or, like, doing logic stuff for Ice Palace? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I never even considered it.
Yeah, well, there's the thing, I guess. That's what you're talking about. It's a thing.
It's a thing! So our players are going to be potentially high-fiving, but it's going to be whilst Pikapals is on his way to Trinex, and Zarby realizing that the last chest does not have the Ice Rod. Which, it's crazy how close these 2 players kept it the entire time. And it really just came down to who picked what. You know,
about 90 minutes in is where we got our first decisive lead. Everything else was speculation up to this point. It's going to take a while for Zarby to head back there just by nature of how long this dungeon is.
Yeah, and he's going to be checking everything, including Mimic Cave, which takes a little bit of time as well. Probably going to be finding the Brine Cane.
Yeah.
Maybe the Butter Sword. We're still looking for that one.
We're also still looking for Silver Arrows, you realize. And that could be in Mimic Cave, and Pikapals will not check it. How's that for a plot twist?
I mean, at this point, I don't think that's going to be enough.
No, you know, you might be right on that.
Interesting that Zarby's not electing to use the arrows against those guys. Makes that room a little bit quicker.
Room to maneuver. Only 50 rupees, not quite silver.
Every chest that Zarby opens now is going to be crushing. Soul crushing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it would have been a gamble I would take. The risk-reward is absolutely massive. I tend to play it a little bit safer than that.
Oh, there it is! Wow. Silvers... of all the places.
And so we had the hookshot. You speculated on the Ice Rod. I said something about the silvers that Pikapals won't need to check. You know, I predict they're going to find Ganon after Ganon's Tower as well.
You know, I'd be willing to throw some money down on that. I don't think they are. But that's just me. Well, I don't know if Zarby is. Nah, he'll find Ganon. Yo, high five. High five from our players.
Nice. Down the stairs at the same time.
Yeah. When apparently Zarby going out of his way to check items has allowed Pikapals to catch up with him. Our players are neck and neck. It's just unfortunate that one player has the required item and the other one doesn't. So had both our players had the Ice Rod, this would be an incredibly hype moment, but at this point, it's just potentially hype. But
You know what? There shouldn't be any disappointment, though. Neither
No,
player
not at
made
all.
a bad move.
it's just that's the nature. Oh, look,
Great laser
Zarby,
skip. Possibly
yeah,
wishing
very-
he had that big the mirror shield by now, though.
yeah, skipping that mirror shield, coming back to bite him in the buttocks. But it's just that's the nature of randomizer. You could have the perfect routing for 90 minutes, and then you and another player go 2 different ways, and then that changes everything. It's one of those it's not over till it's over kind of setup. So
No, we could see any number of things happen at this point.
I'm surprised Zarby not going for cape or something.
Shoutouts, though, to the Trinex and neck joke.
Oh, and there's Brian.
Hey, you called that too. Nice.
I mean, there's only so many items left. But that, at this point, means Buttersword is either deep inside not Cold Star, well, it could be Cold Star, deep inside Ice Palace or in G-Tower somewhere, so it really depends on the location of the big key. Zarby now on his way to Ice Palace. Still gonna definitely see a sub 2 from Zarby. These times are really good.
I think
Despite
so.
clearing all of the dungeons, pretty much, this is a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can definitely see the skill of both routing and execution from both these players, and maybe, for the most part, other than the Ice Rod, a very generous seed. But yeah, I don't know of Zarby's, or either player's skills at Silverless, so we'll see what happens. Alright guys, time to do that thing that everybody loves to do, yeah. Get your
14.
Get your chest counts in.
Yeah, I'll stick with 14, I guess. It seems like a pretty good number right now.
I like 21. 21's a funny one. It's very funny.
21's only good if you follow it up with 12.
Are we gonna see a tile room? Are we gonna see a bob chest? Are we gonna see one of the first 3?
Or are we going to see it in its original location? Post Armos 2.
That would be funny. Now the question is, what are the routing options? If you get a small key here, well, there's butter. Wow. Okay. Do you do right side? Because my rule is, if I get a small key from those first two chests, I always do right side, regardless. Even though it's more optimal to do left side because there are more chests over there,
You know,
I can't stand doing all of left side
the only
and then not
consideration
finding it.
I might have for that, if you find that small key, rush right through the tile room and
Right, of
go and
course.
hit those last 4 chests. Don't do the tile room right away.
No. I gotta reiterate that. Tile room is always last.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was specifying like what my own plan would have been in that case.
Oh, Zarby with a very nice Ice Palace bomb jump.
Beauty.
Long to get across.
You know,
So yeah, both these players have very good execution.
Yeah, they've been on top of everything.
No big key yet.
Of all the times that I've seen the big key in the post Armos room, it's always been in one of the back chests, though. I've never actually seen it in its vanilla location, though I'm sure it's happened plenty of times.
Yeah. I could definitely see it there. Well, Zarby's going to be picking up his Ice Rod right now, and he's going to be thinking, darn.
Yeah, because
If
he knows
only.
that there wasn't much else available. He probably realizes that unless Pikapals took the same gamble, he may, in fact, be too far back to come back from.
Yeah. Unless it's going to be like one of those, he's just got to make a quick work of T-Rock. He's going to be so far behind, but he might be able to catch up a little bit. But yeah, it's really hard to... I don't even want to say oh yeah, Zarby's totally got a chance. But we've seen stranger things, guys.
The thing I'm going to feel confident stating is that with Zarby completing the majority of pretty much all of Turtle Rock, getting through the dungeon at this point is not going to take too long. No matter what happens, I'm going to say that this is going to finish within 10 minutes of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
They're going to
confident
keep
with
it
that.
close.
Piece of heart. There's the big key. Has one small key. He's got enough to head straight up. He's going to, not even bothering to check those last couple of chests. I don't think I would have either at that point. Having a blue potion. Yeah, I think he still has that red potion as well. Enough safeties. I may have checked
Oh.
those two hoping for powder if I was in his position, but that might have been the only exception.
Powder was... Where was Powder?
Spike Cave.
Oh, yeah.
Burner Cave.
So, yeah, no silvers, though, so... I'm excited to see Pikapal's Ganon, silverless Ganon fight. I'm sure he's got it in him. I mean, just based on both players' executions, I'm sure both of these players have some NMG skills.
I am expecting it.
Looks like everyone's asking the restream to swap audio. I don't have any control of that. Oh, Feasel did it. Alright, we're good.
Switch, never mind, dead issue.
We Gucci.
We are great. Slow and Steady wins the race in the Cannonball room.
It's one of the options. It's either that or dropping off the ledge and using the iframes to get across. Both are good options. Kyle's going for that fairy, just in case. Alright, let's see how good his gauntlet is.
So far,
Now,
it's cooperating with them.
I, for one, especially in the gauntlet, or just in general, am not a fan of sword beams. They are annoying, because a lot of times they'll take precedence over your actual slash, and then you're like, oh, cool, I killed him, and then he keeps moving, and usually moves away, and you're like, oh, okay, well, never mind, I guess I didn't. Let's try that again.
Yeah, even if you're right up against an enemy, sometimes the sword beam will hit them first, even though it looks clear as day that the sword is making direct contact.
Pikapals going for the fire rod use, which is a very good idea, though there is a little bit of lag time waiting for the certain enemies to burn. They're best used against the Stalfos because they die instantly, but without silvers, it's not a bad option.
Beautiful one-cycle land mole.
I love the use,
Fire rod butter combos.
Yeah, I like seeing that. Not just relying entirely on the fire rod, but going in for the swings, because that gives you a little bit more range to hit the enemy, so...
Even with half magic, conserving it a little bit is nice, too. Got a couple of Kanasamaria rooms coming up, quite a bit of torch action. Although it does provide plenty of magic along the way, it's not a bad thing to have a little bit more on your own.
Ooh, nice.
Nice mimics, too. I thought that Samaria block might have been a little bit low, but no, that worked.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too, but it killed all those wizards just like that. Alright. Pikapals using the fire rod in this room. I've seen it both. Use the torch, or the lamp, or the fire rod. It really just depends on how much magic you have.
Zarby, on the other hand, entering Trinex, really not that bad. It took about 2 minutes or so to get through the dungeon. Nice and quick. I'm gonna switch over to the fire rod again, I'm sorry.
Now, it's really... It also though comes down to what routing option Zarby's going to take. Now, if I was Zarby, I would be doing right side first, because that's how I like to route, since you get that first key on the right side, which, as we know, would definitely ruin any sort of chance of a comeback, but it'll be interesting to see what he chooses. And Pikapals, let's see if he checks at least Moldorm 2, maybe looking for those silvers as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's too concerned about silvers, or else he would have been checking the chest in the mini Helma room and the one right before this. And I've seen them in one of those before. Just a piece of heart. At least his run is valid. We gotta be happy about that.
We take those. Yeah, and at this point, Buttersword is nice to have. It makes quick work of the first few phases, but it doesn't make a lick of difference in the last phase.
No. Still gonna be a 12 spins cycle, I guess?
12 spins? Yeah.
12 spin phase,
for the last phase.
I wasn't sure if I should call it a cycle or a phase. But I guess there's not much difference.
It's not just a phase. Yeah, let's see if Zarby's gonna go left or right. But at this rate, it looks like it's Pikapal's race to lose. He's having looks at that's unfortunate. I hate when you hit Aghanim into the wall and his whatever you call those just kind of hits the wall and just disappears. Like, come on, man! It's already hard enough to get you guys in a good setup.
And I love your description of things. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that he is checking the right path. He must have heard you.
I mean, It's not a bad option, and he's probably thinking, you know, I'm losing time, so I don't want to commit to the entire left side. Oh, he's going all out. He's going for tile room, so he knows he's behind at this point, and just
You gotta take your chances though where you have him at this point.
yeah, I'm just hoping. Unfortunately, it's not going to pay off for him, but at least we get to see that lovely tile room, and everyone gets to see why this room sucks. Alright, let's see Pikapals Ganon fight. It's 6 slashes, followed by 6 slashes, and then 1 slash per stomp, and then 12 spins. Or slashes. The spins are a little bit easier. Oh, the power glove in the tile room. That is particularly ridiculous. I don't even know what to make of that.
I don't either.
That is so weird.
I mean,
we've seen useless items in G Tower before, like, but it's usually like boomerangs or medallions that you never touch. But the glove,
if anything's a slap in the face, that's it.
That's a pretty big slap in the face.
You get slapped in the face with power. We get to satisfy our curiosity, though, to at least see what's in the rest of these chests. Not the worst, but nothing particularly helpful.
And thankfully, because the big key is still pretty quick, we can still definitely see a sub 2 from Zarby.
No,
but it looks like Pikapals has this in the bag.
He's
okay.
Scary play having Ganon right next to that torch. But
he was smart not to swing his sword, because that alone would knock you right off.
Seems to be he's getting about 2 of these hits per cycle, though, which is really, really optimal.
I'm surprised he's not choosing... Ooh, okay. He got hit by the fire bat, but did not get knocked off. I'm surprised he's not using the fire rod, having all that magic. If you use the fire rod, you can get the setup to do 3 in 1 cycle.
Now, it's still a risky thing.
Yeah.
But either way, brilliant execution. He's absolutely nailing this Ganon fight. Take notes.
There it is.
That's how you do it.
That's a GG! And Pikapals finishes in first place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 3 seconds. Moving up in the group to a 3-0, and potentially claiming that first place spot. And we're gonna get him in here for an interview as soon as we can. GG's to both players. It's just crazy that it came down to choices. It came down to gambling. This was the closest.
Great job, though. Props to him for sure.
Yeah. Alright, we're just waiting on him. GG chat? Question mark? Yeah, shoutouts to both the runners. This was a very fun race to watch and to commentate. I enjoyed seeing both players take different paths and both finding equivalent required items and then kind of syncing back up. Especially that 90-minute mark was just amazing to see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so unfortunate that both players took different routes. All right, we'll be bringing Pikapals in for an interview. Congratulations, Pikapals! You're muted still.
Yeah, that's better.
Hey
there he is.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
How you feeling right now?
Pretty good.
Yeah? I mean, winning always feels pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah, I guess we'll jump straight into it. When it came down to finding the ice rod and you'd cleared your last crystal dungeons, it was really a matter of choosing between the Turtle Rock area and Ice Palace. You obviously chose Ice Palace. What made you make that choice?
I didn't want to have to go through Turtle Rock twice.
I will never argue against that. That's
Turtle Rock is too long for me. So, and Ice Palace has had Ice Rod a lot, for me, at least.
Well, crazy enough, your opponent decided to do T-Rock first. And that alone gave you the clear advantage in taking this race. But
that was my
because Zarby did all of T-Rock, he did find the silver arrows in the big chest.
Yeah.
But
So close to getting those, but we were curious how your arrowless Ganon might have gone, personally not knowing much of your gameplay, and you nailed it.
Yeah, I've gotten a decent amount of silverless practice at least.
yeah, we kind of figured you guys had plenty of execution practice because throughout the race you guys had pretty pristine execution in, you know, Ice Palace Bomb Jump and all the other little speed strats and whatnot, as well as the boss fight. So I wasn't too concerned. But yeah, you know, you always wonder.
Yeah.
Any lasting comments overall about this seed? Is there anything you'd like to say to, I don't know, Sahasrara, that shovel?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Really made Eastern Palace worth it there.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, we were just wondering though, how did that money get there? Did he put it there for like a rainy day fund? You found it,
so.
obviously.
Yeah,
I'm sure if you kept digging, you probably would have found a body underneath that money.
Well,
So the money was just simply a distraction.
at least I got to bury Aghanim.
Yeah, that's good. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, great
he deserves
performance.
a burial.
Pikapals, you're moving on 3-0 now in your group, which
Yeah.
I don't know if did Triple Z have they already done their third race? I don't know that. But anyway,
Has, I think.
almost everyone else has at least 2 losses, so that kind of solidifies the potential first place for you.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Uh,
And we're kind of winding down to the end of the group stages, so
Mm-hmm.
kind of ridiculous.
And do you have your last race scheduled at this point, or is it still up in the air?
not yet. I'll get a schedule soon, but
Who do you have left to race? Quiz Bowl?
Quiz Bowl.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be interesting because I think if Zarby beats Triple Z, I think we actually have a 3-way race left.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. So we might get more than one 3-way race in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't know
Who
how.
knows?
I don't know if I know there's like a hard end to the group stages. They have to be done by the 30th. I don't know if that also includes the tiebreaker races, but I mean that's just one more race, so
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll be able to fit that in. We have plenty of time.
yeah.
That's
Zarby
almost a
and
week.
Triple Z are scheduling it, so I'm sure that it'll be done in time to do any potential 3-way
You know,
that needs to happen.
well, we'll hold our breaths and we'll see what happens. I don't know why I want to keep holding my breath. Oh, it's Zarby skipping the Molder and 2 chest. Twitch chat, boo. Zarby. Nah, I'm kidding. It was a fantastic race to watch and commentate. You guys both performed very well, and a 147 is pretty good given how trolly the seed was, because that ice rod is, ooh, he's a pesky one.
Yeah. Ice Rod or Kane, they always like to make things difficult.
Yeah, those two are awful.
Those are the 2 most common ones, it seems.
So how do you think you did on Bonks? I know people care about that, right?
Good question. Probably not super well, but good enough, I guess.
Well,
So Zarby's
Yeah.
now done with Aghanim too. We're going to move on to Ganon as well. I did say within 10 minutes, and barring any sort of catastrophe, we're going to have that happen.
yeah, and with
that's
Buttersword
fast.
and Silvers, this race is pretty. This Ganon fight can be really quick unless you know catastrophe, etc. So
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do fine. He's a good player.
Yeah,
so.
you know, if there's one thing that you guys were absolutely consistent on together, it was your execution. And I'll say this again to Zarby once he joins us as well, that you both have a lot to be proud of.
mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear that.
Super, super close race, really exciting to watch.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it's-
coming down to, do I go here or do I go there? And
Yeah.
there didn't have it while here did.
It's unfortunate to lose a race solely on routing, but it's exciting to see a race where both players are pretty much potentially of equal execution and skills. Kept it very close, and that search for the ice rod was just—it was terrifying for us because any chest could have been the chest. And Zarby even went up and checked before doing T-Rock. He went and checked Spike Cave, which ended up having the powder. Oh,
God.
and that was an unfortunate death from Zarby. He accidentally hookshot into the lamp while
God.
Ganon was spawning, and he spawned inside of Ganon, getting a big
Ouch.
old hug.
That hurts.
Ah, that's bad.
Too soon for a bug net joke, I suppose.
Too soon. Way too soon. Yeah, both you guys saw the bug net and said, nah.
Yeah, I like potions, not fairies, so
That's fair.
Which is,
I'm okay with that.
sounds like a drug ad. 28 bonks and a 3:36 menu time.
Well, that's pretty good.
Nice. Really good menu time, yeah.
I'm usually lucky to get below 4, so I'm glad that that's getting better at least.
Zarby down to 1 heart. Going straight for that red potion. Also, I have to say,
Once.
Pika, you did one thing early on that I personally hadn't ever seen by unleashing the bee on the...
Yeah,
I was asking for it.
I
And then you did it, and I was like, yes.
think I had heard someone else had done that a long time ago, but Beetorp's come to Ghost to visit. I'd better let him do some work.
Oh,
nice triple to finish it though, Zarby. Way to go.
Oh
Nice.
my gosh. That was gorgeous. Those are hard to get.
Yeah,
And there's
GG,
the
Zarby.
official race bat time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 1 second.
So, just shy of 10 minutes. Well, congratulations to both of you once again. I'm going to be bringing Zarby in here, hopefully for an interview. You guys can give your GGs to each other, and then if you have anything left to say, Pikapals, feel free to say it. Or you can hang out, stick around for the interview. We still got a little time before the next race starts, so.
yeah. I think Zarby usually doesn't do the interviews because his English isn't great, but he might jump in.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Give him a few seconds. See if he responds. I don't really have any sort of questions or comments. It was nice seeing a seed where Agatar wasn't required.
Yeah, I was starting to get worried there after Eastern, but thank you, Kingrave. Thank you, King, for having the moon there for me.
Yeah, that was nice.
Just holding on to that jewelry.
I guess the other thing I'm curious about is both you guys kind of went in or around Eastern as opposed to, because Zarby also went into Eastern without the bow. Didn't finish it, obviously.
Yeah.
But you guys both went into that prior to doing Desert Palace, despite having the ability to do all of it.
Yeah, I forgot Eastern was a pendant for a bit, so I went to check Strashhala before turning around and heading to Desert.
All right, it looks like Zarby will not be joining us for an interview. So I just want to say congratulations to both you guys. Give these runners a follow. They put on a fantastic show. Thank you so much for letting me commentate. I had a blast, especially here with my boy DT. Definitely a lot of good clips I want to go back and grab. Any final words for us, Pikapals?
Just hope this three-way race is hype as it should be.
I think
sure
it's
it
going
will
to be. That may go without saying.
Yeah.
And one last question. Anything that you're going to consider next time for your next race? Think about any changes, or are you pretty crisp on your routing options so far?
For the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Just try to do a better job remembering crystals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's a good plan. I mean, there's always the music to listen to in the background, so
eventually I'll learn which one the Flight World Adventure music actually is. I can never remember.
That sounds like a good plan. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on your win and at least securing a first or second place spot in your group. As far as I know, at this point, I think you are. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure I
still
am.
get it more. So,
Fantastic job,
GGs.
Pika.
Thanks.
Fantastic job, Zarby.
Thank you so much for stopping by for an interview as well.
One of the most exciting things that I could say about this is having the route deviation, having you guys match back up, and then having literally one of only a couple of options left. You guys were so neck and neck, and that alone made it such an exciting race. Unfortunate that it did split off, but you know what? It had to happen at some point at the very end.
I'm glad
Be
to
proud of
hear
yourself, Pika. Zarby as well. Be proud. Awesome races all around. I can't say it enough. Really, really good job, guys.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we got a three-way tiebreaker race coming up between Miria, Yunos, and Dan. Dan Carnate. I'm pretty hype. I have no idea how this is going to go down. I don't know how they're doing the tracker or whatnot. I've seen only glimpses of the overlays. So this is going to be a tournament first, and this will kind of decide how the rest of the tiebreakers are going to go. So stay tuned. That's coming up here as soon as the players get online, as soon as we prepare ourselves. Once again, thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Willard J. Bradley, and
I'm in the name
DT,
of
send us off.
Great
Say it
commentating
again.
with you guys. Great chatting with you, Pika. Great job again. Randomizer chat, you guys ready for one more tonight? We got a great race coming up. Once again, I'm DT along with Willard J. Bradley. It's been a real pleasure hosting you guys and chatting with you for the last couple hours. Be good, have a great night, and enjoy the next race.
Sorry, I had to. Don't judge me.
You can judge him all you want.